Hey, so I'm away a little bit this week, so I figured I would record a live kind of ahead of time. So that's what I'm doing now. And I'll even maybe try to play it live so that we can interact on the comments. So what this is a vanilla JavaScript challenge that I actually did a couple of years ago. And if I jump over this way, let's see. Yeah, right here, this vanilla JavaScript challenges. I did number 1 on my stream last week, and I was like, man, I really am kind of rusty on the DOM manipulation stuff. I've not looked at the rest of these yet, but I figured, hey, why not just kind of tick off 1 or 2 more? So we'll do what we can. I'll take just a few minutes to do this together. I've copied it into a code pen. Other than that, I haven't really looked at it ahead of time. I know that there are beginner challenges and there are intermediate, I think. I think that might be it on this one. So let's just kind of take through this one at a time. And yeah, let me know in the comments what else you'd like me to do around vanilla JavaScript stuff. I really like this kind of like fundamental stuff. Just when you haven't touched it in a while, sometimes you can be a little slow, which is okay. Everybody's that way. All right, so let's come over here. We're going to add something to the beginning. I think this is like names.unshift. I don't have any autocomplete here either, so we'll see. So we'll say something like Nicole. Is that right? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so it's console logging automatically as we go. We'll add a name to the end of the array. So names dot pop push on there, and we'll say like Jimmy or something. Let's make sure it shows up at the end down here, Jimmy. Okay, cool. Remove the name you added to the beginning of the names array. So here we would names dot pop is taking the last one off. I think this is shift. Maybe. Let's see what happens. So Nicole, which I think I misspelled, is now off. All right. Remove the name you added to the end of the array. Return the name. Okay, to back to the original. So names dot pop is that method. So all these methods live on the array, and you can use them to manipulate arrays. Obviously, this is mutating the actual array, though, which is why I'm not having to reconsole log it. Just down there is all that matters. Create a new array called lowercase names with each name lowercase. So there's a couple different ways to do this, but since we want an array in the end, it makes sense to me that we should actually use the map method since that gives us an array. So I'll say names called new. Okay, so I need to actually say lowercase names equals, and then here we'll take our names dot map, and we'll take each name. And for each name, we simply want to take n dot to lowercase like that. I think that's how you spell it. And then let's go ahead and console log this. So if I jump over here, let's grab this right here, say console.log. And then we'll console log lowercase names. Let's see what happens. Nothing. Oh no, yeah, right here. Okay, so we did get that right. We even spelled it correctly and everything. Cool. Let's console or like comment that out just so we don't see multiple things here. Sort the names of the array alphabetically. So because these are strings, there's a couple different ways you can do this, but we could use local compare, which is a method that lives on that kind of sort. So let's do that. So we'll take names dot sort. And here we've got A and B, so like compare one to the other. And how to do this exactly? I think it's like A.local compare. Compare like this, and then B. Let's see what happens. Yeah, that's right. Cool. Again, I did not look at this ahead of time, but last time I stunk, and this time I'm okay. So, that happens. So we're going to find the index console.log. We'll look at names.index of, maybe it's like this. Index of, okay, that seems to be working. Chris. And yeah, we got it. Okay, 1, which is correct. Create a new array called after Chris. Nice. Const after Chris equals with all the names after Chris in the names array. Okay, so we're going to take the names dot slice or splice. I think it's splice to make a new one, maybe. And we're going to find the index, which would be right here. So let's use this as const like Chris index equals names of array like that. And then we'll take the Chris index here. And I think that will give us colon onward. Let's check. So I need to console like this. Oh, and I used the wrong one evidently. Slice, maybe. Let's check. Okay, Chris, this one is Chris and forward. Okay, so Chris index +1 is what I want. It would really help if I name these. So let's say like after Chris is this one. And now this console log should be named after Chris. Okay, so yeah, that's just going forward. And this is the original one still. All right, alter the original array to only contain the names before Chris. So now we're going to splice, which is the one I meant to do earlier. So names dots, or did not mean to do earlier, names dot splice. And we are going to say 0 to Chris index, I think. Let's see if that works. So we've got after Chris, that's still showing up. This is the original one. Okay, splice. I should only go to that one. After Chris to that. So I just took out. So maybe it's like this to the end. Let's check. Yeah. Only include the names before Chris. Okay, which is just Anna. Yeah, so if you just pass that, it'll go from there to the end. So yeah, return true if the names array contains Chris and false if it does not. Hint, it should be false now. Okay, so console.log. Here we can just say like, let's see, I guess we could find it. We could also look at the index. Is there another method on here? Names.find. Yeah, so here's a couple ways we could do it. We could do names.find, where we take, the name. Is that right? Yeah. And we just check to see if n equals, no, we find any, every, each. Ooh, now I don't remember. Okay, so let's array if any exists. JS. I don't remember which one this is called. Sum. That's right. All right, so let's shut this down. We'll say sum where n equals Chris. Oops. Chris like this. I think this should give us false. Okay, cool. So if I said Anna though, it should find it. Okay, yeah, so that is right. So that's probably the easiest thing to do here. So we're just checking to see if one of them equals Anna or Chris or whatever happens to be. So let's say Chris again here. And I guess that's it. So cool. So let's comment this one out, comment this one out. Since that went so fast, maybe, well, let's just calm down. Since last time I struggled so much, let's add back in console log. I think I took this console log out just because it was console logging so much down this way. But let's add it back in. So console.log, and we'll paste in peeps. And I'll just make sure that this is peeps down here so we can kind of keep it a little bit more organized as we go. All right, so there's our peeps showing up down this way. Let's console log or like kind of work through these things. So they all have names, IDs. They all have the same properties. Yeah, okay. Use the peeps array in all challenge points. Nice. All right, add a Boolean property is awesome for each peep and set it true if the person has at least 3 favorite numbers or false if not. Okay. So let's just map over each of those. I think that makes sense. Or for each. Let's do a for of loop. So for const peep of peeps, since we're just like iterating over it and adding something to each of them, I think that makes sense. What we're going to do is add is, no, let's see. We can just return, or yeah, I guess we'll just push in. Let's see. Now peep, we're going to add like this. Yeah. So we'll just do is awesome. And this will be equal to if peep dot favorite. Okay. Favorite has at least 3 favorite numbers. Okay. Favorite numbers dot length is greater than 2. If that's true, then it should add true. If it's false, it should be false. Is awesome. Okay, so peep dot is awesome. Why can I not just add that? Can I not just add that directly to this array? Each item. I should be able to just add that, right? I would think. Yeah, I don't know. Like I know it doesn't exist there currently. Can I add it like this? Maybe that's what I need to do. Yeah, there we go. Okay, is awesome, false. False, true. Okay. Forgetting basic syntax. See, this is why I shouldn't have been too, hyped up on myself at the beginning. Okay, return a new array called young peeps with peeps 25 or younger. Nice. All right, so const young peeps, peeps equals, and we're going to take our peeps. And we're just going to map. Well, I guess I don't want to map over each of these. Probably I need to reduce. Is that the best thing to do here? Yeah, probably. So we have accumulator and then the like individual peep. And then what we want to do is stuff. And then when we're done with the stuff, we just want it to be an array. So I think that should work. All right, so for each of these items, what we want to do is let's get rid of this for now, just so I don't have too many things console logged. And I'll come down here and console.log, and we'll do young, and then we'll do young peeps. So right now, this should be nothing, right? Just undefined. Okay, cool. So we're going to reduce this, and we need to return out of here the ACC. So return ACC no matter what. Now, what do I want to start with? Nothing. And I only want to add the items that have peeps with 25 or younger. So age equals 25. So let's see. If peep.age is 25 or younger, is less than 26, then return the ACC push, and we're going to push back in that peep. I think that works. Otherwise, we'll just return the ACC. All right, I think ACC.push. Why is this not a function? Peep.age. The ACC should just be an empty array. I feel like that's correct. If it's less than that, then we're going to push this in. I think I did all this correct. We should be able to simplify this a little bit. Maybe this will help. So we're going to start with the ACC like this. This is the initial starting value. And this should be an array, an empty array, where we're going to push this in. I think. Well, let's first of all, I guess, let's come back over here. Let's just check like, is young. All right. I don't know if 26 is young, but there we go. All right. 26 is the check. Some of you, that's very young. Some of you, I'm sure that's very old. So just deal with me, okay? In my stage in life. ACC push. All right. So let's get rid of this for now. And all I want to do is console.log is young to make sure I'm at least getting what I expect in here, which I think I should. True, true, false, false, false. Okay, all that stuff. Cool. All right. Now what I want to do is, if that's the case, I want to take that, and I guess I don't have to push. I could just spread it. Well, let's try. So we'll say is young. What I was thinking is we could spread this in. We could take the ACC, and then we could add at the end of this the peep. I think that would work. Otherwise, we'll just return the ACC, and we're going to return all this. All right, let's see. ACC is not iterable. Yes, it is. I think we got it to work. Okay, so all these people should be 22 or younger. So I think that's all we had to do. So let's just back out of this, and we'll return. Actually, let's make it even more compressed. And chill code pen, I will be right with you. If it is young, so under 26, then we'll return there like this. I think that's right. Okay, so we should have one. Why is code pen not letting me? Okay, here we go. We should have 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that right? Let's check it manually like a cave person. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that's it. Okay, cool. Young peeps. All right, we got you. Sort the favorite number property from least to greatest for each peep in the peeps array. Okay, so I'm just looping over these. And reduce is mutating, I think. So let's come down here. Let's comment this out and just see if that's the case. Favorite number property from least to greatest for each peep in the peeps array. So we're going to take each item and just map over it. I don't think we need to reduce or anything. Yeah, so peeps.map, we're going to take each peep and we're going to just, if I can type, take the peep We return that. I guess we can just return the object, right? Just return the peep like this. So, oops, what just happened? Let's come back over here. There we go. All right, so I did the same thing again. It's the problem with my fancy keyboards. All right, wrong button. Third time is definitely gonna be the chance. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna take the peep, spread that in, and then take the p dot favorite numbers dot map, and inside here I'm gonna take the number. Do I want to map these? I want to sort these. So I'll take A and B, and we're going to return out of here A minus B, perhaps. Let's see what happens. Rest parameter must be the last formal parameter. Well, that doesn't make any sense. So I guess we just want that. 3, 9, is that right? Is that what we're doing? 1, 2, yeah, that's okay. So I didn't have to spread that in. But I'm returning an object for each of these items. I first put in everything, and then I just changed the one item here. 2, 4, yeah, okay, I think we got that. Okay, return true if every person has an age below 50 and false if not. Okay, so we can say peeps.every. Wow, that was a nice little hint where we take each peep and we just check if p.age is under 50. So this should be false or true. I don't know. I don't remember. 24, 42. Yeah, so it should be true. What did I mess up? I think that's it. And then I added an extra one because I wasn't paying attention. Awesome is false. Okay, so peeps.every. And let's console.log this. And we'll just check like above 50 or something like that. And then at the end here, if it'll let us. Okay, cool. So that should work above 50, wherever that's going to be. Above 50, true. Oops. Every is below 50. So this is below 50. All right. I just named it the wrong thing. All right. Number 5, create a function called findPeep that returns the peep for an ID passed in and returns not found if the peep does not exist. All right. So const find peep. This is going to take in a peep. I should have named this something else. I'd have to say peep so many times. Create a function called findPeep that returns the peep for an ID passed in and return not true. The peep does not exist. Call for an ID that exists and one that does not exist. Okay, so we're gonna take in a number, an ID. Do they all have IDs? Oh, they do. How about that? All right, and all we're gonna do is say if peep find. I guess we could look for find and then return that. We could also just use, what did we use last time? Sum. So like sum, where whatever this is, p.id equals the ID that was passed in. If that's the case, then that should return pass it. That returns the peep. Okay, so we'll just return. Probably a more compressed way to do this. But I guess we could just do peep.find. But like we've already found it, so I kind of feel like let's just make this a little bit more verbose here. And that way we can kind of just do one search. Con is or found peep. How about that? Okay, so we're going to find this peep. And in this case, I think I'm going to use the find method, not the sum method. So that way I have access to the peep. And then I can say return found peep. If that exists, then I'm going to return the found peep. Otherwise, I'll simply return not found. Okay, cool. And then let's get rid of this right now just so I don't have to see that console log so much. And we'll say console.log. And let's start with like found. And I'm going to pass in found peep, and we'll pass in like 2 because I'm pretty sure that exists. Found peep is not defined. Find peep. Found and find. I'll also get rid of this right here. Peep.find. This is peeps.find. All right, there we go. So we found the peep. That's good. And then let's do one that's not found. So down here, we're going to say not found. And then we'll pass in like, I don't know, 12 or something. So we should have one that's found and one that is not found. Cool. And I named it not found, so it says not found, not found. But we got it to work. All right, create a new array that called reverse peep with the peeps array order reversed. Now, when I made this, probably 2 reversed didn't belong in the language yet, but we could do a reversed peeps and make this equal to peeps dot to reversed, I think like that. And then console log this, and this would reverse the peeps. So console log reversed. Now, the nice thing about this one is it reverses it without like mutating the original array. So it actually copies the array. So we're going to end with Chris, whereas I think up top we started with Chris. Comment that one out. Add an additional property on each peep called peep object called favorite number sum with a single number value which equals the total number of all their favorite numbers. Okay, so this is classic reduce. So we are going to do const favorite. No. Let's just come back here and on console log this. Yeah, so now we can go peeps dot reduce. We're going to take the ACC and the peep, which we'll just call P in this case. Do we want to try to do this in a one-liner? Yeah, let's do it. All right, so we've got all these things. Now what we're going to do is simply return immediately. And I always want to return the peep no matter what, right? So I'm going to take the ACC. It's an object anyhow. Yeah. Is that what I want to do? What do we do up here? View.age. It's an array. So yeah, I guess we need to return the array like before. So we're going to return ACC. And then we're going to return just like we did up here. So we're going to spread in the ACC and then the peep afterwards. But we'll alter something. So we're spreading the original ACC, which again, you probably wouldn't use spread syntax for like a large data set, but in this case, it's fine. All right. We're going to take the P and put that in afterwards. And in fact, what we should probably do, yeah. Oops. Get out of here. Why don't we spread in the P afterwards? Why name this P? I don't know. All right. So we're going to take P and then take P dot favorite. This is way too complex to try to do it in one line. Favorite numbers sum. All right. Why am I reducing this right now? All right. Let's back out of this mess. All right. We're going to map over this like a sane person, not amp it. Okay. So we're going to map over these peeps. We're going to call it P for the peep. And then here, we're going to return the P. Nope, like this. So we've got the P, and then we're going to add in something called should I do P and then dot push? Let's try it. So we'll say this needs to be an object. And for now, what we're going to do is just manually hard code this just to make sure it's actually working. Favorite numbers sum. And then for everyone, we'll do the same. We'll say like 4. So let's see if this actually pushes this in. Favorite number sum. No. That did not work. Okay, so how do I want this to look? So I guess if I spread this in, and then we have this. I think that would work. Oops. What have I added extra? I think that's right. No? P is not editable. Okay, can I just put P like that? Same kind of issue I had before. Okay, that should work. But I'm still not seeing favorite number sum. This needs to be an object. Goodness, Chris. All right. So we're going to pass this in as an object, if it'll let me, and then tack on this extra property. Is that right? Like that. Why is this not letting me tack this on? This is the time it'd be really helpful to have somebody else hanging out, you know? Ooh, maybe this object. I think this is being tacked on the end of that array. I want it in the middle, which that should be the case. Can I now do this? No. All right, what did I figure out up here that I had forgotten earlier? I spread that in. That doesn't really help me. All right, so let's first of all just do what we know. So if I just map over all these and return it, it should be the exact same thing that I'm used to, right? Peeps, object array. Okay, so cool. So it should just be that. And then I could add on here. So what if I do, like this? And then add on like, cool equals true or something. What does that do? All right, let's see. Map over object. I'm not going to use like AI right now. I'll just look this up like a K person because I think it's important to kind of talk through. Well, obviously, I'm messing something up, forgetting how the syntax works. And add property. So we might even, Stack Overflow. Yes. You got to give them a couple more hits, you know? Oh, I'm returning an object directly. I have to wrap it in parentheses. Duh. Okay, so that's the problem. So because I'm trying to return this directly, I've got to wrap this in parentheses. Oh, Chris, come on. And then I should be able to spread this in and then add is cool true. What did I just figure out that I forgot already? Yeah, active, false, or whatever. I think that should work. Yeah. Is awesome true, cool true. I feel like this should work. Peach.map. I'm not console logging this anywhere. See, this is what happens. So aren't we glad that we're going to be so chill about that? All right. So we're going to say like fave numbers. Chris is cool true. Okay. Now what we want to do is say favorite numbers. We were doing so great too. Sum true, except in this case, now I want to take P, which is the item that I'm looping over, dot favorite numbers. And now I want to reduce this to a single value. So now we're going to use the reduce method inside of here for each of these. ACC, the actual number. And then here we just, Oh, are we going to one line this thing or what? We're going to take the num. We're going to return the ACC plus the num, and we're going to start at 0. We'll see what happens. I think we did it. Yeah. All right. So what we're doing here is, once I remember the syntax, we're mapping over each of the items. Since we're directly returning, we can't return an object. So we have to actually return it wrapped in parentheses, which means we can return the object. We spread in the items. Then we add on this extra property where we reduce by taking all like the whole array of items. These are array of numbers here. Over each one, we're going to return the ACC, which starts at 0 and iterates each time, plus whatever the number is, all the way until we're done. And that's what we've got right here. All right, we got it. Create a new array called const number 1 peeps with all the people that include a favorite number of 1. Include only their names and IDs in the new array. Okay, so we can do this. So we're going to take the peeps dot reduce once again, ACC, take the person. And should we make this readable? We haven't been so far. Why change anything? We're going to have an array here. And I have to do this as a reduce because the map would just return undefined for someone who doesn't match this. I guess I could do filter, but then if I filter, then after the filter, I also have to then strip out items I don't want. So yeah, let's just do this as a reduce. All right, so we're going to start with it, that we want to return the ACC. And we want this to be inside of here. And then let's console log this. So I'm going to get rid of this here. We're going to console.log. We'll do a num1 peeps. And here we go. All right, so now we're actually returning this. Right now, this will just return nobody, right? Because we're just returning the ACC. Okay, so what I want to do is return the ACC, and then should I first check? Yeah, I think this is going to be too complex to try to do this all in one go. So let's come over here. And let's make this a little bit more readable. Okay, so we're going to say like const includes 1 equals. We're going to check the p dot favorite numbers dot sum, where the num sum. Yeah, I think sums probably makes sense. If I do find, I'll find the first one versus any of them that have that. I don't know which one's faster algorithmically. I don't know that it even matters, but where n equals 1, include their names. All right, so here, if it includes 1, so includes 1, then all we're going to do is add in only include their name and the IDs in the new array. Okay. So if it includes 1, then I simply want to spread in or add in a new object, right? Yeah. And here this will include p.name, p.id. I think. Otherwise, can I just say null? Spread rest parameter. Oh, I got to return this. Return. Let's see what happens. To token. Okay, so I think I have to actually name these. So name equals p.name and ID equals that. I think that works. Chris, 1, null, null, null. All right, so maybe I don't want to do that. So can I just do like undefined? Or will that also include that? Nope. Can I just do nada? A string? It'll also include that. So we'll say if it includes 1, can I just do this syntax? Let's see. If it includes 1, then add that. Okay, so how should I do this? Yeah, we'll just say includes 1. Let's check up front. Yeah. So we'll say return. Includes 1. Then we're going to do all that stuff like this. Otherwise, we're just going to return the ACC. I think that should work. So Chris and Tina are the only ones that like the number 1. Let's just kind of do a spot check here. There's a 1 there, there's a 1 there. Okay, cool. Yeah, that worked. Took a little bit of work to get there, but that makes sense. All right, combine all peeps from number 1, number 8 above, which are also in the young peeps number 2 array, and the new array called fresh peeps. Nice. Const I'd be interested if I did better at this like a couple years ago when I used to do a lot more like vanilla JavaScript, but this has been really fun actually. Combine all peeps from the number one peeps. Okay, number one peeps, which are also in the young peeps, into a new array called fresh peeps. Okay, so here I want to compare the two. And I'm trying to think of like the best way to do this. Yeah. So they have IDs. These people have IDs. All the people in the number ones, which are also in the young peeps. Include peeps with unique IDs only from the young peeps array. Okay, let me restart because clearly I'm not cracking what's going on here. Combine all peeps from the number one peeps 8 above, which are also in the young peeps number 2. Okay. Include peeps with unique IDs only from the young peeps array. So don't duplicate anyone. So I think I can just iterate over these and just check to make sure they're there. So I think I'd just use a reduce. So number one peeps dot reduce. We're going to take the ACC and then the person. And in the end, I just want an array. I think that's right. Do I need to check? Let's go back to readable since I was struggling a little bit that last time. So first of all, I just want to check to see if they're in the young peeps array, which is somewhere. Young peeps. Okay. So if they're in the young peeps array, why would I include the IDs anyhow? I don't know. So I think I would just say like p.id. Yeah, I think I would just check on here dot sum. Let's call this like person or young person, YP equals, we're going to say if yp.id equals the PID that I'm looping through, right? So if this is true, then return the P. Yeah, I think that's right. So if young peeps.sum, if it's in that, then return the P. I guess it would be the ACC, right? ACC, and then add the P on the end of that. Or we could do ACC.push P. I don't know if it matters. Not sure why we're pushing P, but we could say .push P. Otherwise, we just say return the ACC. Yeah, I think that works. Console.log. And we're going to say fresh. And we'll have fresh peeps. All right, let's make sure. Obviously, we messed up something here. I think that's right. Nope. What did I mess up here? Fresh peeps, number one dot reduce. ACC, we're returning young peeps dot sum, where young p.id equals the PD. If that's the case, so this will either turn true or false. If it's the case, then we're going to, let's just make sure that this is working. So we're going to do the ACC, and we're going to push in the P. Otherwise, we should just return that. Okay, so I think that works. So number one peeps, let's also console like this, just to see what we got here. So Chris and Tina are the only options here, but they also have to be young. How old is Tina? 42. Okay. And Chris must be young enough, 24. Yeah, we got that to work. Okay. So I overcomplicated that mentally for some reason. But we could actually make this, again, a little one-liner. It's good to like do these kinds of challenges every now and then because I don't think it's difficult until I go to do it. And then it's like, wait, what am I doing? And now I've messed this up again somehow. So I need to return directly out of here oh no, it's fine now. Okay. Return a single value representing the total of all the favorite numbers for anyone that is awesome is set to true. Hint, it should be 159. Okay. So let's just console log this directly. All right. So we're going to do the same kind of thing. Value representing total of all favorite numbers for anyone who is with the awesome property. Okay. So I want to map or reduce through these again. Man, lots of reduce in this. You wouldn't have to do that necessarily, but this seems to be the best way to do this, I think. We'll call those, let's call it person. All right. Let's dignify these people. Just a second here. All right. We'll simplify this later if we feel like we need to. We're going to start with 0. First thing I want to check is only if their favorite number. Oh yeah, this should not be that hard. So person dot favorite numbers, nope, is awesome. So if that's the case, return if person dot awesome is the case. So if it's true, then I want to add all their favorite numbers. So here I would do another reduce inside of here, I would guess. So I'd say person dot favorite numbers dot reduce, or take the ACC and the number, and let's just do this one inline. We're going to take the A plus number starts at 0. Otherwise, hopefully this makes sense. We'll just return the ACC and person dot number. Wait, return person dot awesome. If this is true, then we want to take their individual number and add this ACC plus this. Otherwise, we just want to return that. So 159. Okay, so we got it right. That's good. Let's go mad and make this all one-liner, and then I'll talk through it real quick. So what we're doing is we're checking, first of all, if the person is awesome. If they are awesome, then we're already implicitly returning here. So we return the accumulated value to this point plus whatever their accumulated values are for their favorite numbers. So like, let's say we're at 20 and their combined numbers are 10. So now it'd be 20 plus 10. And if they're not awesome, then we just return the original 20, right? And then we'll just iterate through all of them. That was really fun. I don't know how long it's been since I've done that. Uncaught. What did I mess up now? I don't know what I messed up. Are we fine? Oh, I messed up something. Now I think we're good. Now we're worse off. That's what I get for trying to simplify this. That. Are you happy now? It seems to be happy now. I don't know if it is or not. Well, we'll just go back to where I was at because everything was happy before I tried to mess with it. I had got 159. Okay, cool. Well, hopefully that was enjoyable for you. I like these kinds of challenges, so that's why I did it originally. And it turns out that 2 years later, I still kind of need the refreshment. But it's been a while since I've worked with Reduce that much. I don't even know how long it's been since I've written a Reduce, but hopefully you enjoyed that. Thanks for following along. We will call that it for this video. I'll catch you in the next one. Happy coding.